Welcome back, world builders. We are doing an intro to Maya 2026. So I'm going to call to your attention down here on the left-hand side. You see the Alt key constantly going. My thumb's on the Alt key. Let's do a little tour of Maya and make sure we know how it works. So you get a little tumbler up here that shows you the front viewport. So if I kind of hold down Alt left mouse button, it's going to tumble around. If I Alt middle mouse button, that's going to pan, move back and forth. It's hard to see though. Everything's kind of gray on gray on gray, right? It's a kind of a neutral interface to the point where it's hard to see. So let's hit the space bar so you can see here top, front, side viewports. Whichever viewport you hover your cursor over and hit space bar again, it's going to switch to that viewport. So side view. And then if you hit the F key for focus, that's going to focus that relative to what you have in the scene. We'll put some stuff in the scene there. Right here is your outliner. So let's take a look at that. I think before that even though, I'm going to go to my grid options. And we're going to make sure we have working in symmetric units that works for most scene design. So I go 1000 for the overall length and width of the grid. And then I go 100 for grid lines every 100 would be a different line. Whoops. And 10 for the subdivisions within that. So that's a very simple 1110. Now these have to be different colors though, so you could even make them out on there. So for the main axis, just to find out where your 000 world coordinate system is, where is the center of your universe? There we go. Hit apply, there's the yellow. So now we know exactly where our middle of the world is when we're designing things. The grid lines every and the subdivision numbers. Usually the grid lines every or the grid lines, yeah, every here for the 100, the numbers. Put that something that we could see as I'll hit apply. And I don't know that you can even, there's red, barely see that. Let's try, once we change the background color, maybe they'll be a little bit more obvious. So anyway, play with the colors that make sense for you. I'm gonna hit apply and close. Now if I wanna change the background color, that's gonna be Alt B. And there we go. Now we can see a little bit better on screen. If I hit space bar, you can see now just barely where the red lines are on there. If I hit Alt B again, it's going to go to the kind of gradient, light blue gray to darker blue gray. And we hit Alt B again, it's going to go to black. And sometimes that is, depending on your screen, what time of day it is, and your ambient lighting. You can hit F on the keyboard again. That's going to center. So you see that's 1,000 centimeters across. And if I go up to the grid options again and I zoom in, I can play around. If I want a black background like that, I probably can use a lighter color, like a neon color is going to grow, and I can leave this light gray pieces here, or I could go a little lighter gray with them like that. So that kind of works for the black background. And if I hit Alt B again, there it is against the gray we had started with. There it is with the lighter color, and there it is with the blue gradient. So do what works for you. I'm going to try to keep this. I just hit F on the keyboard as I went to each of these. Front, right, excuse me, side. It's the right side. There's the front. There's the top view. And there's my perspective. And I hit spacebar again. Okay, that's general setup there for the UI, for the grid, for the units. The other thing you want to do is go up here to your settings and preferences, go to preferences, and we're going to go to settings and file, projects, and we want to turn on and enable autosave. This is very important. So that way it's going to automatically save every so many minutes. I have it set to 10. Let's change it to 15. I'm okay with losing 15 minutes worth of work. And I do want to limit the number that I don't want to check this on as well. Otherwise, it's going to get up in the hundreds sometimes and you can crash your system. So I'm going to say maximum of 20. So if there are 4 per hour at 20, that's 5 hours worth of work at every in 15-minute increments it's saving. You can change this for whatever makes sense for your own projects. This is my recommendation. For those of you who are beginners, just starting out, go ahead and hit save. And lastly, we want to save our project and save our scene before we start building out some objects in here. So let's go File, Set Project, and I'm going to choose a folder here that I already have. So let's actually do a new one. So I have Intro to Maya 2026. I'll do a new folder. We'll go intro to Maya, and also I'll throw away. So if you are doing test ones, throw them away. Because I want you to see the default settings. So if I set that, you then create the default workspace. So it's going to create a default workspace script file for you. Okay, so always check where your path is. Know where your files are going to. I do a Google Drive folder, and I have it on my local system. So no matter where I go, I can pull that up on as long as I'm connected to the internet. If I go to the intro to Maya 2026, here's the default workspace that has, whoops, just made one throwaway. There we go. So right now there's a mel file in there. You can open this with Notepad. Whoops, I saw that option right there. Edit in Notepad. There we go. And you'll see that it has a little bit of scripting here that's telling you what type of project definitions are inside this little script. Close that. We'll go back over here. Once you've done that, so go File, Set Project, make sure you choose your project throwaway, set it. Next, you're going to go File, Project Window, and now you're going to create these actual folders that go inside of the Intro to Maya throwaway folder. Here's the location, know your path directory, and these are the folders that are created. These are the default folders. All right, so this is pretty standard. You'll want at least this minimum set of folders. Let me hit accept. Now, if I go back in here again and go File, Save Scene As, it should automatically default to the Scenes folder within my project Intro to Maya throwaway folder that I just made. So if I go up one, you can see now when it created the folders systems, here they are. Here's your autosave folder, catch, clips, images. So I should have probably done that before I did the autosaves. So let me go into Scenes and we'll say Intro to Maya 0101. Yay, save scene as, there we go. And just to double check it one more time, set project window, there it is, Maya throwaway. And inside of there, these folders here, and you'll see there's the autosaves folder. So after 15 minutes, it is going to save it there. Let's double check it real quick. Okay, so I closed Maya. I go down now and I've pinned it to my taskbar and I open Maya 2026 one more time. It's on a .2 already from Autodesk. And as it opens, you're going to come to the File Open screen. Okay, and here's the open screen. So from here, you can go new. You can hit open. You can go to your recents folder. So you'll see intro throwaway. Here's my regular Maya intro. So it's going to do the latest one. It's going to be defaulted up at the top. Here's the current project right here. And if I just go open, you'll see it's going to default to the current project settings to that scenes folder. And there is my intro 0101 right there. Now, if I had other projects, I can click on the pull down and it will default to some of the other folders that I have used most recently. Now, I just upgraded 2026, so all my 2025 folders are gone. Forgot about that. Oh, well. Here's a female head, eyes, and breast piece that I was working on last. So if I go to this one here and open it, now this is going to open up the actual Maya file. So if you have different project folders, there you go. Now you can see where I had left off. And doing the human anatomy, if you're taking my class, you'll get there eventually, or if you're just want to find the videos and follow along. But yeah, this is pretty awesome. So if I go up here and go File, Save Scene As, you'll see it goes to where I was last, my step-by-step Maya scenes from 2024, where I left off last on this one. So pretty awesome. If I want to set a new project, go here, Set Project. I go to the pull down, and I have to go to my drive and I have to find this. This interface isn't very good through Maya sometimes, but it does work. I have mine in my studio recordings. There it is. There's my Maya throwaway. One more time, if I set that and then I go File, Save Scene As, it's going to go now to the Maya throwaway project scenes folder. So I can save my female head, eyes, breast sample file right there. If I want to open up a different one, just go File, Open Scene, and I can go back to my empty intro scene. So that is introduction to navigating and setting your project, using the spacebar to switch in between different viewport settings, going into your grid options, right-clicking on it, pulling up the grid options, setting it to metric system, 1110, each for those, setting some colors that make sense. and also using Alt B on the keyboard to switch the background colors to make sense for your monitor and your grid color options that make it easier on your eyes and make sure you're able to see. And you want to make sure you can go in here and comfortably change these back and forth as you're working on these. Okay, the outliner again is right here on the side. I didn't show you the icons right there. Pulling that open, you can also go back to the 4 viewport setting here or the perspective mode over here. And in the next set of videos, we're going to navigate some more, and we're going to, let me pull the outliner back up, and we're going to look at the QWERTY keys. Q, W for move, E for rotate, and R for scale, scale, and rotate. And actually move they call transform, which is kind of one of those silly scientific terms for it. And this way, when you're placing things in your scene, here's your standard primitive objects: modeling, sphere, cube, cylinder, cone, torus, plane, and polygon disk. So we're going to place the objects in here. We're going to make a little model to get started. All right, see you in the next video.